right there. I'm going to cut that shape out. And I'm going to match it up on my other page, and I'm going to cut it out there as well. Okay, so right now I have, if this tape comes off, it's not, so I'm going to fold it over. Right now I have my shape and I have areas of my face. So yesterday again I went and marked everything. This is going to be a 0, this is going to be a 1, this is going to be a 1.5, and this is going to be a 2. It's not quite all the way up to my height. So I know what all those levels are going to be because I labeled them. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start rolling out my clay. Now, when I roll out clay, I need a couple different things. These are slat sticks. These are slat sticks. This is a piece of canvas, and this is a rolling pin. Okay? Slat sticks are made so you can put clay on the inside, and your slat stick should be the same width, meaning this dimension here, they both should be the same. If they're not, it's not going to make an even slab. And your rolling pin will fit on top of the slat sticks to roll everything flat. Does that make sense to everyone? So if I have these slat sticks out and I have my rolling pin on the inside, those slat sticks are doing nothing. Okay? What's the canvas for? Who knows? So you don't get on the table. It's a barrier between the table and so the clay doesn't stick on the table. Because your clay is going to have water, the canvas is going to absorb the water. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of clay because I'm only going to be working one tile at a time. So I really don't even need that much. Get the clay, make sure you close it back up. We will probably I'll have some clay in this bucket. That's where you will get your clay from. Okay, so usually I would have to wedge this clay. I'm not going to worry about it since I got it straight from a plastic bag. And the plastic bag has already been wedged. I already know that because it comes from the manufacturer like that. Okay, so I have my clay. Put my slat sticks on either side. And I'm going to put this. I'm going to stand up while I'm doing this. I'm pushing down on the middle. And moving to the outside. And I'm trying to get one consistent slab. Once I have most of it rolled out, I'm going to go to the outside of my handle. Make sure that fits. Now I'm going to, instead of using this piece right now, I'm going to use my white page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it upside down. Put it on my piece of slab, tack down the corners, and I'm just going to cut my shape out. All this extra clay that I have right now, I will still be using it, so you can go ahead and keep it. Make sure you get into your details, especially if your shapes are a little different. So I just had to cut a little sliver off there. Okay, the reason I did that, as I cut that backwards, is because I want to flip this over on a new surface. So I have these wooden bats. They're basically just masonite wood panels. I'm going to take my tile, I'm going to set it on it, flip, and I'm going to pull away the canvas. Now, why did I do that? Why didn't I just pull it up with my hand? Justin?
You could like deform it.
It could deform it, number one, and if I do deform it, it's going to this clay is going to have a memory. The clay is going to have a memory of being pulled up. So when it dries, it's going to want to pull up. When I put it in the kiln, it's going to want to pull up. Okay? So that clay memory is on there, and you just need to be aware of that. Okay, so matching up my tile, good to go there. Now I'm going to take my picture and put it over the top. And it's a little short, but that's alright. I'm going to take, and if it's not sticking, I'm just going to lick my tongue, or lick my finger, and put it on there, and it'll stick. I'm going to take a color pencil, or just a regular pencil, don't use a mechanical one, and I'm going to push over and draw over all the lines that I already made in the process before. I'm going to draw every single line that I see that's on here. And there's really not that many here. I am also going to draw this border that's on my page. I think it's going to give it a nice edge. And I'm also going to draw my numbers. So I know that this is a 1, 1.5, 2. I'm going to pull that. And what it does, and you can sort of see, it incises the area and it gives you a guideline on where to start. Okay? So now I'm going to start building up on this piece. Whenever I have to attach clay together, what do I need to do? Who knows? I need to score it, number one. Scoring is simply taking a tool. It can be a knife tool, a dentist tool, any tool, and roughing up the surface. So I'm just scraping the surface as best as possible. The more grungy it looks, and I know that's a weird word, the more ugly it is and the more little pieces of clay that you have sticking up, the better it's going to be. The better it's going to stay attached. Okay, so I'm going to take that. And now I'm going to take my new pieces of clay. I'm going to make sure that matches up there. And I'm just going to kind of start building my form up. I'm going to put this on there. I might also add some, add some slip. I don't have any slip up here right now, so I'm not going to do that. Slip is just water and clay. Okay, so just take really, really wet clay, put it on here. I'm going to attach here. I'm going to attach on my edges. And I'm going to start rounding this out because I know that's where my picture's head starts to roll out, or starts to round out. And I really want to focus on the texture of this. That's one of the main things I'm going to be looking for. So I have this piece here. His head rounds out. I think it needs to be built up just a little bit more, and I also need to put in his hair. How can I put in his hair? I'm just going to draw it in right now. Okay. Now, and this is not completely finished, and I'll work on this a little bit more, but let's just say that this is finished for right now. Next thing I'm going to do is very carefully pick this up, and on the back side I'm going to take a loop tool and I'm going to carve out ridges underneath. Why am I doing that? Anyone know? Or have a guess? Who's put down tile in their bathroom before?
Most of the group.
So it has a binder. So whenever I put this on a board to let it sit, A, it's going to be lighter. B, it has a binder. If any of this area, which we'll start to get into, if any of these are really thick and they come off the page, more than an inch, you're really going to have to carve into the back. And that's okay, because no one's going to see the back. This is just going to be used for like a glue purpose. Okay? Questions about that process? No one? Okay. So here's the deal. Make sure you have your paper completed, your face with all your lines on it completed, your face with your numbers on it. And then you can go ahead and start. I would say, again, just do one tile at a time. When I'm finished with this, so let's just say this is a complete finished tile, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my initials on it. And I'm probably going to put all three of my initials. So no one tries to say, hey, that's my tile, it's not your tile. Number two, I want to let this thing dry, but I want to let it dry slow. I'm not just going to put it in the kiln room and be done with it. I'm going to put it in a plastic bag with the bag open. Okay? Let's say it's the end of the class period and I'm not finished with it. I'm going to put it in a plastic bag with the plastic bag closed because I want to create an atmosphere where this clay is going to evaporate, but water is going to come back down on it. So I need air in there, so like a greenhouse. Does that make sense to everyone? Now, plastic bags are over there underneath the sink. These boards are next to that cabinet on the right. Slat sticks are hanging up on the wall by the pottery wheels. Rolling pins are back there. Canvases are back there. I have clay up here that you can